I thought today not bad. I think we had a very emotional game last night, lost a heartbreaker. So today was challenging to turn around and have to get up early. Well, I don't think we've ever played, well, since I've been here, I should say, at this time. But next weekend we're going to have to play this early. So there was some thought behind it of being able to get up after a late night and turn it around. So Providence is good. They're scrappy. I thought, we just continue to put pressure on them and obviously put some crooked numbers up.
That was a good point. I was going to ask you about a slow start last game of the tournament.
Yep.
And the Texas Tech hangover. You factored that into that then? Yeah,
we did. And we talked about it quite a bit this morning and obviously last night after that game of just, hey, it's time to reset. We got to refocus and get ready for the next opponent. We can worry about that game, last night, this week in practice. So.
When you have a quick turnaround like that after kind of like you said a heartbreaking loss last night, what are you doing like with your team from a late end to an early morning? What was the locker room looking like how are the girls going into the game?
Yeah, I don't go in the locker room, so I stay out of there. But we keep it to a routine. I think that's really the most important thing is, we get here, we feed them, we overfilm, we kind of have our game plan, and then we go into the cages and hit. So for me, it's all routine based, right? And so I think that was really important, even though it was an early morning, for us to continue to do what we do and how we do it.
Okay, kind of early, but what is your checklist of things you want to improve before Clearwater?
Yeah, I could give you, I think our communication on the infield, I think that can still get better. I think that pitching-wise with our 2 strikes, we need to spread a little bit more. I felt like we had a little too many 2-strike, either foul balls or barrels, but foul balls on pitches that weren't in the right spot. Offensively, I feel like we, there are some things that obviously you could continue to work on, but maybe some situational hitting. We had runners at first and second this last game in particular, and they were obviously throwing us in, and so being able to have better at-bats in those situations, kind of work through that a little bit. So those are my top 3, I guess, or the 3 most quick to my mind.
So you mentioned 2 strikes, like 0-2, 1-2.
Yeah,
okay.
I think, we're not elevating or spreading as much as I would like us to.
What'd you get from Pannell then? What did you think about her today? You talked about.
Yeah, I thought she did well. I think we're working on some pitches, and I think the pitch that she hit out, that was the Dunn kid. Yes, yeah. I didn't think it was a terrible pitch. Sometimes it just kind of all lines up, but I thought she did a good job of doing what she does, and then she settled in really nicely. So I think she was able to command inner half against righties, which is something that I'm always challenging her with, and I thought she did a great job with that. So, and I thought, honestly, Sparks came in and I wanted to put us in a situation so it was done up to bat again, so kind of a high leverage situation, and I wanted her to come in and produce a ground ball, and she did. And so that was kind of the thought process behind that.
Ariel had 3 hits this morning. Kind of thoughts on how she did and just her performance?
Yeah, she's great. Like, every time she gets in the box, I know how hard that kid works. And so I'm always like, she's prepared. Like, there is not going to be a day that comes, where I as a coach look up there and go, oh gosh, like she works her tail off. That's kind of in her DNA. I think the game's going to pay her back in, twofolds. So she's a good teammate. Again, she's another kid that played third base, caught. We have her in right field. Like, I don't think she knows how to do anything besides just give it 100%. So, yeah.
You've talked about her before, but if I'm not mistaken, she hit the ball hard 3 times last night, didn't get everything. She hit the ball the 4th time, so she could have had, theoretically, 4 more hits. And you talked about that, but still that surprise you when she's off for so long and you come back and have competitive pitches? It looked like she was never away from the box.
I guess with AK, I don't. And I would hope that our pitchers they've seen a lot of live pitching with that. But yes, just the crowd, the excitement of, I think the first game she was probably a little nervous on Thursday, and then I think she settled in and was like, okay, I've done this my whole life. Like, I did it, in the SEC and did it at a high level. So I think, just kind of the first game jitters, and then she settled in. Yeah.
How long is it going to be till you think she's an accomplished outfielder? I mean, you said, like I said, she's an athlete. That's something when you played the infield the whole time going the outfield.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a work in progress this year. I mean, she gets extra reps every week. She's putting in the work. So, I think hopefully by the beginning of conference play, she feels more and more comfortable out there.
How have you seen her improve in your time here?
Just her angles to the ball. She's always had a really good arm, but understanding situations. I think, it's just reps. Like, she's just got to understand what that looks like. She played usually corners, and so you don't go back as much as you as a middle infielder. So it just took some time, for her to work through that.
First time to meet you. Obviously, looked like this weekend you weren't away, even though you were away. How were you able to come back seemingly right off the bat to where you left off?
Just being able to not be in my head and not be nervous. I kind of had a little bit of nerves going on the first game, but just being able to be confident in myself.
Yeah, Coach mentioned about that maybe you were a little bit nervous that first game. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
What about the last couple games? Even when you didn't get hit, you were hitting the ball hard. Are we seeing you in mid-season form, like in the middle of your Florida game, or you got to improve somewhere?
I definitely feel like I'm getting back there. I feel like I have more confidence today in like the last few games at least, but I just feel more comfortable in the box. So.
Taylor, what was it like getting your first start as an Aggie?
It was so exciting. I just keep telling everybody, like, I'm so glad to be here for my last year, and getting that start was just really fun to go out there with the team.
What do you expect your role to be on this staff? Because there's so many different arms for Coach Ford to mix and match and pick and choose from.
Honestly, I'm not sure. I could see a lot of situations happening. I could see starting, mid-relief, closing. I told her I'm basically here to help us get to Oklahoma City, so whatever that role is going to be, I will do my best to fulfill it. So whatever happens, happens.
For the both of you, how did you like playing at 9:30 in the morning? What was the routine to get ready?
It was definitely early, but I'm a morning person, so I don't mind it. But we had to be here at like 6:45, so that was nice.
It was different. It's the earliest I think I've ever played in college softball, but we made it through the mornings.
Hey, Kay, can you talk about how are you adjusting going from infield to outfield, and where do you feel that progress is, and where do you have to get better?
Mm-hmm. I really feel like it's just I'm going out there doing my best, doing everything they're telling me, just really being able to communicate with everybody around me, and I've adjusted pretty well. I feel like just a lot of communication is out there, being able to talk to Coach Heff and Coach Harger and Coach Ford about it, but I feel like I've adjusted pretty well.
And since it's the first time we talked to you, why come to A&M? I mean, you had a great year at Florida. What went into that decision?
I love the traditions here, the coaching staff, the facilities, like everything here is just, and a chance to compete. I just really wanted to be at a place where I could compete and have a good environment around me.
Okay, how encouraging was it to see kind of a variety of teammates get hits and really, especially throughout the whole weekend, really, get on the board?
It's just really, it's like a confidence boost, I feel like, just being able to see everybody get their hits and everything, and then just being behind them and trusting in everybody.
Taylor, Coach said that wasn't a bad pitch that the girl hit out. What did you think?
I didn't think it was a bad pitch either, but of course I'm a pitcher. I'll have to go back and look at it for sure. I didn't think it was terrible. Clearly she got a piece of it, but it's all right. We came back and won.
Okay, we don't know you. It looked like you had your game face coming off there. Like maybe you didn't want to come out or whatever, or is that just your game face?
I would say I'm very composed, straight face during the game. I mean, I did not want to come out, but Coach has her plan. I trust in that, and Grace came in and did great, so it was good.